It looks like we are live. How is everyone today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jason Levine, and for today's brief live stream, we're going to be talking about how to make responsive animations, which can include text animation, as well as responsive lower thirds using the Essential Graphics panel in Premiere Pro. So this is a way for you to, first and foremost, build animated text and things and just use all of this natively inside of Premiere Pro. And if you want to create, say, a text animation or something that flies on screen, you can set it via our responsive control so that it always maintains the same duration of that animation, regardless of how long you stretch that animation out for. And then additionally, you have the ability to take that same, let's say an animated lower third that has animated text and, animated bounding boxes and other things, and use our responsive design positioning capabilities inside of Essential Graphics so that you can use that same lower third animation in a 16:9 environment, say for YouTube or Vimeo, and then repurpose that for something like Instagram, an Instagram story, or Snapchat, or even TikTok, and it'll be in the same relative position, but now it's in a vertical format or a square format or a 4:5 or something like that. So it's real easy to do. Again, we're going to do all of this inside of Premiere using Essential Graphics. And today I'm back on the PC using Dell XPS. So I know many of you love when I'm using Windows, so I'm trying to do this at least a couple times a week. So this is using one of the new Thin and Light, latest 10th generation Intel processor Dell machine. So this is super cool. As always, we're coming to you live on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube today. So thank you so much for joining. I'll be checking back and forth to the chats, so you can ask questions as I'm going. Already I see we've got Keith Owen, what's up? Thibaut in Belgium, nice to see you. Thomas Benner from Austin, always great to see you. Ambreen Hyder, very nice to see you as well. And coming to us live from the Periscopes, we've got Timo Ovaska, HS Panasir, how's it going? Tej Shaughnessy, always nice to see you. And hello to our friends on YouTube as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. CL Karain Brisa, how are you? In Peru, very nice. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so what I'm going to do, because I've got this this other machine down here in front of me, I'll be able to work a little bit differently with the chat so I can be a bit more real-time interactive. I just need to remember to look up. All right, it's my small task for today. All right, Jimmy Pichard from Paris. Bonsoir, Sarah Bauman. Just so you know, I always save your videos so I can watch them later. Such a valuable resource. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. Much appreciated. Christine Keck, what's up? Cesar Tapan, hello. Marco Bertolini from Brazil. Rick from Scotland. T.R. Bolin. Always nice to see you. All right, super cool. All right, everybody. So let's kick into gear here. So what I have, that you've seen this footage before, this is stuff that we've used showing off auto reframe, which actually I'll get to use here again because, again, we're going to create a responsive lower third. So let me just show you what we've got in here. So basically, this is a very simple timeline, one video where I've created a very basic text animation in Premiere using Essential Graphics. Now, again, if you don't see Essential Graphics, you can see that I've got it up here, and you can see now I've since turned on the is it magnifier, not zoomify, in Windows, okay? If you don't see the Essential Graphics panel, you can enable that either by going to the graphics workspace, all right, up at the top of the screen there, or you can access those workspaces under the window menu graphics, and that'll pull up Essential Graphics. Now, assuming you're not on the latest version of Premiere, you will notice that, of course, in our Tools panel now, we have the Text tool. So in order to begin creating a text animation or text on screen or a title card or a lower third, it's as simple as clicking on the Text tool and you just start typing on the canvas. You place your cursor where you want it to go and you begin typing. And what it will do when you do that is it begins building a layer stack, which you can see here. It's like I've found the zoom and now I can't stop using it. Because I do it all the time on the Mac. It starts building a layer stack for you inside Essential Graphics. So you can see I've got 2 text layers, all right, and 2 shape layers. Incidentally, both of those things can be achieved by selecting the appropriate tool inside the Tools panel. Also, you'll notice this little new layer icon here. If you click on that, that gives you the ability from that menu item to create text, vertical text, rectangle, ellipse, or import JPEGs, PSDs, other images, other videos to be placed inside this graphic, because ultimately we can turn this into a template which we can save and share. Vincent Schilling, what's up, man? Watching in Virginia Beach. Thank you so much. All right. So now you know kind of the structure of all of this. Let's just take a look at what this is. Nothing fancy. Again, I'm very honest about my design limitations. So let's just play this back for you, and you'll see kind of what it is. I haven't even changed the text in this lower third. All right, so real simple. So it flies on, right, from the left here, right, and then it flies off, okay? Now, this was built in Premiere, again, right on screen. So how did you do the animation? Just real quickly, let's reveal what we've got going on here. Go up to Effects Controls, okay? All this is position keyframes. I didn't even adjust opacity or anything like that. And if you take a look over here, you can see that for each of those layers, right, text, name text here, all right, under transform, just as we would do with any other thing in Premiere, I've just got some position keyframes, right? This is the first keyframe off screen, where it lands on screen. By the way, if you want to add things like, you know, easy ease, basically, some temporal interpolation, if you, oh, whoops, if you right click, sorry, I'm all zoomed in. I got to get used to the right clicking with this touchpad. If you right click or control click on these control points, we'll do that instead, so I'm guaranteed. Oh, I'm so bad with the right clicking. Temporal interpolation, we can go into something like ease in, all right, so that it just kind of eases into that stop position. And then similarly, maybe when it flies off screen, maybe you want it to ease out, all right? So it kind of ramps up before it flies off. Or maybe it eases into its stop position. Entirely up to you, all right? So I'm going to do this on that, just that top piece of text. You get the idea. I don't have to do that for everything. In fact, I'm just going to undo those. I don't really want that for this. Okay. So position keyframes, simple, nothing to it at all, all right? Now, here's the thing. What if, because when you start building something like a lower third or any kind of animation with Essential Graphics, now we have responsive capabilities, two flavors of that, responsive design time and responsive design position. So let's first talk about time. Now, obviously, of course, first and foremost, I can edit the text itself. So let's just change that. So I'll put my name on the top text layer here, Jason Levine, all right. Bottom text, new to skiing. Okay. Bear with me. All right. So I can type some basic text here. Okay, that's fine. We think that's great. All right. Now, when this becomes this graphic, we have the ability now to preserve that animation, meaning that, let's say that I wanted this to extend a bit longer, but I always want that animation to be, let's say it's approximately 30 frames or so. 30 frames to fly on, and then 30 frames to fly off. I can do that using what's called responsive design time. And if you simply click on the graphic, the essential graphic that you're building here, I'll zoom in for you. It's going to be inside the Essential Graphics panel. Without having any of the layers selected, you see this responsive design time option. Okay, now this particular timeline happens to be in 25 frames per second. So like I said, the animation itself is approximately 30 frames. So that would be a second and 5 frames. So let's type in here, 1 second, 5 frames for the intro duration, and the same thing for the outro, 1 second and 5 frames. And when I do that, zoom back out, right away, what you're going to see down on the clip is you see these little sort of white, depending upon the background, whitish gray bounding areas. These are indicating the preserved animations, meaning that I can take this graphic and I can now extend it or compress it, and it will never change the duration of that animation. All right, let's show you. Also, you can see directly inside the effects controls here, you can see those grade sections. So what that means is that any keyframes, anything that I do inside this gray space, it will retain. And actually, you can see here, as it appears, I went a little bit long. So I wonder, can I shrink these up right from here? I can. Okay. So maybe we'll just do something like that. All right. So I can shrink or extend those durations right inside the UI. That's a very nice little nice touch there. Some good UI UX. Thank you, Premiere team. All right. So again, anything that exists in that gray area, that can be position, it can be scale, it can be opacity, it can be blur, it can be any effects that you throw on there. Those animations will always be retained. So, case in point, let's say I want this lower third to last the duration of our clip. All right, it's only 11 seconds. All right. Now, notice those little grayed boxes are exactly the same. They have not changed. So when I play this back, the animation will be 1 second and 5 frames coming on. Stays on screen for the duration, all right? And then when we get to the end of the clip, 1 second and 5 frames to fly off. Okay? Same thing over and over. What if we go the other way? I want to shrink this way down. Okay? Even more. Same thing. Take a look. I've got it butted up against itself here, but that animation duration never changes. That's responsive design time. So this is huge because think about it. Sometimes you might have an intro where maybe you want it to last a little longer or shorter or whatever it is. Any animation that exists in there, it'll retain that time. Super cool. All right, let's look at the chat real quickly. See if you've got any questions on that in the meantime. I love being able to do this kind of in real time. All right, Syed Ali Shaheen from Pakistan, how are you? Nice to see you. Michael from Denmark, Salim from Kenya. Ola Soren, how are you doing? Stuart from the UK, Stu from the UK, what's up? Christos from Sparta, Greece. D. Gayal Cool, love from Bhutan. Thank you so much, really appreciate that. Therese Carlson from Sweden, nice to see you. Gia from Vietnam, it's 2 a.m. You are dedicated, Gia. Thank you for watching. All right. What else have we got here? Christine, cool. Jeff shows, okay, very nice. Damien, so simple, so powerful. Yes, and Mohammed, like that. Okay, super. Anything on the periscopes? What's up, Anna? John Cochran, Abby, NYI. Okay, very cool. All right, so responsive design time, okay? 5 formation, nice. Doesn't get any easier than that. Okay, now, what about the second variation of this? Because one of the things you may have noticed is that when I typed my new to skiing, it didn't really fill up the box, right? First of all, that's just crummy, but it didn't fill up the box. So it doesn't look great. I want the box to expand or change size with my text. Now, maybe not always, but assuming that, you know, there's some kind of titling or something's going on there, I want it to be able to reflow and change the size responsively. Okay, so for that, we're going to use responsive design positioning. And in conjunction with that, I also want the positions of this lower third to always be in that lower third quadrant, regardless of what frame size, aspect ratio I'm working in. So for widescreen, it should always be down here. If we're vertical, again, it's going to be relative, but it should always be down here. If we're square, it's hard to do square, same thing. You get the idea, okay? So for that, we're going to use responsive design positioning. So how do we set that up? Okay, so the first thing we need to do, I'm using my mouse and I'm not on the mouse. All right. What's up, the Green Mind from Cyprus? Uzia Leon, can you set responsive design time in After Effects? Yes, this was added actually about a year ago. So if I have time at the end of this, I'll show you that real quickly. If not, I'll do that tomorrow. I was planning on doing an After Effects stream tomorrow. You can also go back through my catalog, Uziel, since you're on YouTube. I believe there's a series on there called How to Make Great Videos. And then there's a whole series on motion graphics templates. If you look at those, I show you, there's one, and they're all chapterized. You can find the info where I show you how to do it in After Effects. Yeah, so this was a feature. Responsive design time was added to After Effects. And if you create those in the templates and use those templates in Premiere, it preserves the responsiveness as well. So it's super cool. All right. All right. Matt McGee, what's up? Okay. So first we're going to start with our new to skiing layer. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pin the text to the video frame. So the text, right, is kind of the fundamental of the lower third, and I always want that to be in that bottom left lower corner. So you'll see here, under the Layers panel, we have Responsive Design Position, okay? So with that bottom text layer selected, I'm going to say pin that to the video frame, and then I'm going to highlight the corners. So I always want that text to be in that bottom lower third relative position, okay? Now, in conjunction with that, I want our box under the text to grow with the text itself. So I'm going to select that bottom rectangle, and I'm going to pin that to the text layer in question, all right? Keeping things centered like that, all right? So the text appears always at the bottom lower third, and the box pinned to the text should maintain that central position, all right? So now that I've done that, assuming I've done it correctly, I sometimes get this backwards. Now if I type new to skiing, it works! The box grows. It grows. Or shrinks. Okay? So we just built a responsive bounding box. Very nice. Very simple. All right? So Jason Levine, pro skier on location, right? We need a lot of real estate right there. Now it does it. Super cool, okay? And we'd do the same thing for this as well. So the top line of text, pin it to the video frame, corners, and then the box, the top shape, pin it to my Jason Levine text, centered. All right? So again, let's say I'm not Jason Levine, but I am Jim Smith. All right. And you can see the box grows. Now, of course, you can change the relative position of that text in the box. Right now, I have everything left justified. I mean, you can adjust all the other appearance parameters there. I didn't quite scale those properly from the start. If you always want it to maintain the padding on the sides, the same amount of padding, when you set up those initial boxes with the default text, that's where you do that. I didn't quite do that here, so that's okay. It's just a matter of resizing. You get the idea. But now we've made them responsive, all right? Very cool. Okay. Oh, sweet. Bake Like a Pro. Thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying this. Okay. Chuck from Paris. Love this. Ah, love you too. Thank you. Vladimir. Super. Esnex nepsis milemra noita vitam. Muito bom. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Nice one from Lagos. Oh, so cool. I was just thinking of you, friend in Lagos. I was listening to Fela Kuti this morning. My 4:30 a.m. workout with Ginger and Fela, 1971. JN Art, hello there. I would like to know how to use a slow motion clip on the 24 FPS sequence. Okay, JN Art, that's again, you can search through the live streams right here on the Premiere Pro Facebook page. I had one maybe about a month or two ago on slow motion and time remapping in Premiere, so you can check that out. If it's natively recorded at 24 FPS, you know, obviously slow-mo is not going to look so good. So you typically want higher frame rates to give us better looking slow motion, but you can do it real easily just using the time remapping feature. And again, I've got a stream on that, so just look through the videos here on Premiere Pro Facebook and you'll find them. All right, Drew Klein, thank you for showing. You're very welcome. All right, Jesus Castillo, can you say in Spanish, Elva, is it Ginaso? You'd think living in Arizona, my Spanish pronunciation would be better. I apologize, Jesus. En Espanol, I fail. I am sorry. Michelle Kinrade, hi Jason, can you please mention again what computer you were on today? Will this work for 4K? Actually, so yeah, in fact, we're looking at 4K, and this is one of the newer 10th generation Intel processor, Dell XPS 13s, 32 gigs of RAM. It's only 1.7 gigahertz, Core i7, but it's a powerhouse. And we're running all this, and you might also notice this is also running full quality here, which I don't even typically do on my 5K iMac. So these new thin and light Dells are pretty spectacular. You know, it's no surprise. I don't love the Windows operating system. I don't really love any operating system anymore, to be honest. I mean, I'm the first to say I'm not like a fan. I just want stuff to work. So my whole house is Mac, so I'm more Mac, but I'm really trying to get into Windows machine usage more, just to kind of feel it out. And I can't show you the system. Maybe you can see it when I go to the back camera. I don't know. Probably not. All right, I'll move out of the way here. So this is it. It's I can't really lift it up because everything's connected. It's so tiny. It's tiny. It's got a 4K screen also, by the way. And it's running the latest version of Windows 10. And it's really nice. Okay. Uziel, you're so very welcome. You're applying them in your current multimedia projects. Greetings from Mexico. Oh, thank you so much. Bake Like a Pro. Yes, I'm also on. I'm on the Premiere Pro Facebook page and Twitter Periscope. Yes, no Behance today. I didn't connect to Behance. And yes, the tweet only goes to Periscope. Yeah. Torinux, I've learned a lot more watching your live streams and VODs in the last 2 years. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. Bonjour, Andre Michaud from Quebec. Oscar, ooh, responsive, no code required. Magic. Yes. Devin Pittman, useful tip. Nice. All right. Just talked about system specs there. Okay. D. Gial, cool. Sir, I could not catch up on how to make a responsive text box. Okay, I'll show you one more time. And Panagiota, how are you doing? And then we're gonna make this into a template, and then I'll show you the full responsiveness. Okay, so how to turn text with a box responsive. Okay, now by the way, there's another way to do this. Okay, now you can get a little more creative with responsive bounding boxes, but let me show you this way first. Okay, so here's how I did it. So using our bottom text first, I'll zoom in for you here. All right. So you select the text layer and you pin the text layer to the video frame and the position that you want it to be in. So because this is lower third, I want this to be in the lower left. Again, I could switch this to lower right if I wanted to. And it even tells you select which edges of the parent layer will be used for pinning. So the text will always relatively appear in the bottom lower third left quadrant of the screen. And then in order for the box to grow with the text, I took that rectangle and I pinned it to the text layer in question. All right? And then I have it centered in that text layer so that it grows accordingly perfectly. All right? Real simple. Now, that's the original way to do it. I'm going to confuse you a little here just for a second because I want to show you something else. Let's move over here. All right? And I'll just start typing something. All right, so Jason Levine. All right, so now I'm making a new graphic, a new essential graphic, okay? Now, down here in the appearance panel, you will notice a new option here for background, all right? So if you click on background, that will do just that. It's going to create a background bounding box that will surround your text. So first of all, let's give it a color. So let's do that same, we like that blue-ish. All right. Maybe this color blue. All right. And then you see you've got two simple options here, opacity and size. So let's size it up. Okay. And again, if we want, 100%, opacity or a little bit of transparency, that's entirely up to you. Now, this background box, by nature, is already responsive. This was a feature that we added a gosh, I don't know, a year or two ago. So without even doing what I showed you there before, the nature of this box is when I type in here, hello, it's responsive, the box already grows. Now, that's awesome. However, if you want, again, responsive design positioning, right? So you still want this to always be in that lower third quadrant. You're going to do the same thing that I just showed you. So you'd come up to the text layer and you would say pin to the video frame like this. And now if we save this as a template, now that graphic, the box will always grow with the text. That's part of the text layer, but this will always appear in that bottom lower third, okay? So there's two ways to do it, right? You can do it with the shape layer and have the shape respond to the change in text, or axe the shape layer and just do it with that background box. Why would you not do the background box? I don't know, maybe you want multiple layers of, you see a lot of lower thirds where people get very creative, like layering shapes. So you might have multiple shapes that you want to grow or fly in or animate. So this only gives you one. You only have one static option here. If you want to build up more, you do it with the shape layers. So it's just two different ways to do the same thing, but really easy and very effective. All right? Great question. Okay. So let's go back to our original one here, because from this, we are now going to turn this animation into a motion graphics template, also known as a MOGRT, all right? And this is going to allow us to now reuse this on other videos and reuse this on videos in different aspect ratios, namely if we're going to reframe this one, okay? So how do we turn this into a motion graphics template? All right, we're going to go up to the graphics menu here. And actually, do we have a right-click option for this? We might have that too. Yes. So you can either do it via right-click menu, whoops, export as motion graphics template, which you see right there, or you can do it from the graphics menu, export as motion graphics template. All right. It analyzes, and we'll call this resp L3 ARF for auto reframe. Okay. Now, give it a name, tell it where you want it to go. Now, as I always mention, you have a couple options here. You can save things to the local templates folder. That local templates folder is local to the installation of Premiere on this specific machine. That's great. It's easy to kind of, find and extract. The issue is if I want to use this on my friend's machine where I might be logging in later today, maybe we're collabing and I'm working in a different studio, it's not going to be there. So to ensure that my motion graphics templates or any of my animated graphics follow me wherever I go, I'm instead of saving them to the templates folder, I can save them to the local drive. So that'll just give me a .mogrt file. I can throw it in a Dropbox. Now it's everywhere. But even better, for my money, even better, is I'm going to save it to one of my CC libraries. Okay, and my most commonly used one is this one down here at the bottom, which I just titled Jason's Library, okay? So I'm going to save this to Jason's Library. I'll include a little video thumbnail so I can see what the graphic looks like. And I can add keywords if I want. This just makes it easier for searchability. So we could add, lower third, responsive, animated text, text animation, bounding, box, whatever you want. It just makes it more searchable. And then you've got some compatibility things. This is really to do with fonts if they're outside of Adobe fonts. I'm using all Adobe fonts. Adobe fonts, by the way, formerly Typekit. Reason for doing that, they will always display correctly, right? If you're logged into CC, if you're a paid member of CC, you have access to more than 17,000 fonts. And no matter where I use this on whatever machine I log into, it will always synchronize that font that I need and display it properly instantly. So that's just a checkbox. If you're not using an Adobe font, it's going to tell you, hey, we'll display this, but you can't edit it, because once you edit it, we're going to have to replace it with Courier or something like that, Okay, and then the other ones you can figure out. So let's go ahead and save this. Resp L3 ARF, great name. Click OK. It's exporting, doing its thing, and it's done. Okay. All right. So now if I go into Browse, I am in Jason's library. I believe we're looking at these alphabetically. And sure enough, just like that, there it is. Resp L3 ARF. All right. So again, let's just pretend like I didn't have this already created. Let's get these out of here. Come over to Browse, grab the template from the menu item, from the Essential Graphics, drag it in, note the responsive, note that. All right, it's all there, the animation exactly as I like it. Perfect. Again, I can drag it out. Now let's have this go longer. The animations are the same. Okay. By the way, it's also worth pointing out, I didn't say this earlier. So those grayed areas retain animation. What happens if you have some animation in the middle here? All right. That animation, whether it's text or effects or whatever it is, will squeeze or stretch accordingly as you stretch that animation out. Okay. So only the areas at the top and tail, at the beginning and the end, the intro and the outro, will be preserved. Anything in the middle, it'll squeeze or stretch. Okay. Nice. Makes sense. Okay. All right. So now that we've done this, let's say that I now want to repurpose this video again to be used in a vertical environment. All right, I'm gonna upload this to my Instagram. Okay, so I'm gonna use our auto reframe tech for that. So again, I'm going to stop. Right click, no, on the sequence. Right click, control click. Why do I even bother? And I'm going to choose auto reframe sequence. All right, right there. We'll call this auto reframe vertical. So we want vertical 4.5 or vertical 9.16. Let's do 9.16. Okay. And we'll just use the default motion preset. All right. We don't have to do anything else here. And we're simply going to click on create. All right. Premiere does its thing. Sensei does its thing. So this is our AI engine analyzing all of the motion here. I don't know quite why this is taking exactly so long to analyze. It's got me a little worried. Shouldn't be taking that long. Still analyzing. There we go. It's done. Okay. I don't know why it was taking so long for whatever reason, but it did. And as you can see, we play this back. It looks fine. All right. Everything's good. Oh, it's, you know what? See, it's my external drive that this media is coming from. It's not, it's flickering. Still in full quality, right? Very good. Okay. Let's kill this. I hate that preview area. All right. And now we want to take that lower third that we built and drop it in there. So browse, resp L3 ARF, greatest name ever. Drag that in, let it cache, do its thing, and bzzz, okay. And there you have it. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, while it's in the lower third, it kind of separated the position of those a little bit. This is something that I've noticed with some of these. I didn't pin one to the other, so perhaps that makes sense. I theoretically, I guess, could have pinned the whole thing to something else. But in any case, you know, a simple tweak for that is really easy. All right, we could go into the effects controls again here. And if I just wanted to move that top layer down, I could select those two elements, right? So the top shape and this, all right? And just adjust the relative positions, you know, accordingly, whatever. If we wanted that, all right? Now it's moving in time, as you can see. Okay. So again, I've seen that happen occasionally. I don't know why it sometimes does it, particularly with vertical. But we're already relatively, again, in that lower third position. Similarly, if I were to take this, let's see how it does with square. I'm curious now. We'll do the same thing here. Let's control click, much better. Auto reframe sequence. Let's do square. Click create. Analyzing. Very fast that time. Again, I don't know why it took so long that first time. Go into browse. Resp LR3 ARF. Drag it in. Hit play. And there we go. All right. Nice. Okay. So real cool, real easy. And again, I can drag these out. Those animations are always preserved. I can scoot them in. Animation always preserved real nicely. Okay. Responsive design time, responsive design positioning. Give it a try. It's really cool. It'll change the way you think about building these things. Romulo from Brazil, hello. Mamoon, all right. Let's go to some chats here now. Let's see if anybody's got any questions. All right. Michelle Bazzoli from Italy, hello. Max Bazovsky, hello. Carlos Olave from Colombia. All right. Okay, Rahelio Victoria, what's up? How are you from Mexico? So nice to see you. Sir, can you show us how to make a... Depends what you want it to look like. Now, having said that, if you go into... let's not go into libraries. Let's go into the local templates folder. So pre-installed with Premiere Pro, you'll see we've got some sports, some modern news, gaming. Where are the... Am I not seeing the news ones in here? Did we take those out? No, I couldn't have taken those out. Hold on, let me see. Maybe I'm just not seeing it here. We have a bunch of those, and of course, you can always search on free ones as well. I don't know why I'm not seeing the very specific with like a moving globe animation and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, maybe we took those out. I don't know. All right. So like here's one. This is not a lower third. This is more of like a title sequence intro here. This was built in After Effects, but it's a motion graphics template. I guess I'm not seeing any of them. Maybe we took the one that I took it out, the one that I'm thinking of. Do I have any newsy ones? A lot of very stylized ones. Here, this gaming one looks fairly newsy-ish. I'm going to drag that in. Let you see what that looks like. Okay, now this one I'm guessing was probably built in After Effects. Okay. And this is an old one, so this is... this one, let's set it to frame size. Not responsive, obviously. All right. But you can see it's got some cool animation. And by the way, any of the After Effects created ones, just like if you were viewing these in After Effects, if you scrub the timeline as I'm doing here, it will cache the animation. So you can see it's got that cool, it's cool like 3D, I don't know what those things are, but, you know, and then you have all the manipulation capabilities here, right? And again, all this stuff you can edit on screen, you know, and you can change the text on this. Super cool. Skis in Austria. I don't actually know that this is Austria, but all right. It's just showing you that it updates. And then again, you will recache those frames because just like in After Effects, it's got to recache that animation. But it's pretty fast in doing all that. So we have lots of those. I highly recommend going into the Adobe Stock button here, going to free and type lower third. And you will find, you know, literally 291 pages here of various broadcasty, you know, social style lower thirds. Just depends on, you know, just depends on what you like and what you're looking for. Glitch lower thirds. There's these, lots of these have multiples contained in the same motion graphics template. Lots of variations. I mean, you can kind of get an idea here. All right. So, you know, this one looks kind of newsy. What is it called? Technological lower thirds. And if you click on the info icon and you hover scrub over this, sometimes it takes a second to cache, but this will often show you, there you go. it'll show you the animation of what that looks like. So it kind of like flip-flops between sides of the screen. You've got these things moving on the top and bottom. Okay? So you get the idea. So there's lots of those available. Oh, this is a premium one, so I didn't check free here. But again, dozens and dozens of free ones to check out. Okay? All right. What else have we got? Questions here. Vincent Schilling, will it retain with a cut and paste to another clip? Any best practices for placing onto another clip? Will it retain with a cut and paste? I'm not sure what you mean by a cut and paste. You can cut and paste things into the motion graphics template. However, if you want those changes to be retained, you'd have to resave it as a template. So currently, there's no way to update those elements. Now, you can update certain things like master text properties. That's a separate area inside the template that we didn't cover here. But you would basically just, if you're making changes, dramatic changes, you would just have to export out a different template. Then, of course, you can erase the original if you don't want that. All right. Red River Aerials from Big Dallas, Texas. Thank you for joining. Annie A. What's up? Oh, you'd like to learn Avid. All right. Well, I'm not your guy for that. I apologize. The Mask Boy. Hello from Pakistan. Nice to see you. Fortis Studio. Cool. Oh, cutting and pasting the graphic. So then will it retain with a cut and paste? Yes. I mean, if you well, let's see. Why don't we just do it? Stop doing that. So here, I'll cut this. Cut. And then let's go to our widescreen one and paste. I don't know why I pasted it on V1. Oh, because that's the track I had selected. So that's my bad. But yes, it retained everything there, including my modified text. So yeah, it does. All right. We enjoy every day. Another great tutorial. Thanks for the excuse to walk away from writing JavaScript. Yes. Thank you. You're very welcome. All right. More comments. Rajiv from India. What's up? Tim Durkin. Michelle. Always something new to learn. You're so welcome. Thank you. Maria Jose Santos from Portugal. Hello. Carla. Love these tutorials. Thank you very much. Vibol Tep from Cambodia. All right. Maud from Malaysia. Rajiv. Okay. Chris Pendy. Hey, you know, it's nice that there's options out there, right? That's what I say. It's always good for options. Okay, and no other comments on Twitter Periscope. Okay, well, my friends, that is our stream today. I thought it was going to be short, and we went for 43 minutes. Thank you. Sorry, also, I did not brush my hair before I got on streams. That's why I'm looking a little poofy. Jason Levine Video YouTube channel. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are in the world. And we will see you again next time. If you've got additional questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter. I answer everything there, as well as on YouTube at BeetleJace. And again, the YouTube is Jason Levine Video. So until tomorrow, I'll be on the After Effects page, and we will show a little bit of responsive work in After Effects. And I think I'm going to show you master properties, which is another way to create motion graphics templates, among other things, in After Effects. So until then, have a great one. I already said have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.